When I was 11, my grandmother would drink. She became physically abusive. My name's Hannah, and this is my story. When I was born, my mother was in prison, so directly I went to my grandmother and she got temporary custody. My earliest memory of me and my grandmother was when we were living in an apartment. The early evening before dinner, we would go down to the river and we would watch the turtles come up and we would write stories about them, name them, and there would be this really big turtle and then there would be the smaller turtle. We would write how each of them had families and we would pick which ones were each a family, we would name them. Oh, this little turtle went to school one day and Turtle High or Turtle Elementary, and just literally make them have lives. We would write all this down. I was 11, it was the 4th of July, and at the casements they used to do Friday movies, but it was 4th of July too, so it was they were playing a movie, and then after the movie they were doing fireworks. Towards the end, there was this friend that I did not like because every time my grandmother was around her, she would drink and she was drunk. And I knew when I saw her that she was gonna be drunk. She started acting crazy, so my mom took me home. And my grandmother and my mom do not like each other. So when my grandmother saw that my mom took me home, she drove herself home. And I locked myself in the room because I already knew how it was gonna go out because it wasn't the first time. So my grandmother came home and she started banging on the door, cursing at me, telling me to open the door. She had a wrench and she started banging on the door, trying to knock the handle off. So eventually I just opened it because it was really loud. And she came at me and grabbed the back of my neck, how a cat how you grab a cat. And she was just choking me, asking me why I had let my mom take me home and she's bad influence. And then my friend got scared and she called the police. My grandmother went to jail and then I went with my aunt. She used to ride motorcycles with my grandmother, but I guess something happened, so she didn't like her anymore, so she hated me. You know those plastic flags, the end of it, it's plastic, a rod, and she would whip me with those because if I didn't give the girls a shower, if I didn't clean the room, I felt like Cinderella. I had to clean everything. The toothbrush and the tiles, I had to do that. When she would hit me, I'd have welts. So when my mom came over one day, I was doing the dishes and she asked to help me, and I was like, no, don't help me, because I knew if she helped me, my Aunt Holly would get mad that I didn't do it myself. So my mom's like, no, I'm gonna help you. So she started helping me, and my Aunt Holly went in there and she started yelling at me and calling my mom a crackhead and just yelling at both of us. And then she got out the flag pole thing and she just started hitting me with it. And my mom grabbed her and pushed her off of me and called the police. And nothing happened to her, but they moved my placement. It just became normal to me after the years because I didn't really think much of it, but it did bother me because first of all, I barely had anything because once you move, you leave stuff behind. You can't, they tell you to put it in a bag and to take it. I didn't have any suitcases, I didn't have anything. When I left my aunt's house, the caseworker that I had at the time, she brought me 2 trash bags and she said I had to fill them. I had a lot of stuff, so I could not put all my stuff in those 2 trash bags, but I had to leave some stuff there. So I lost a lot of clothes, I lost a lot of personal stuff, pictures, I lost a lot of pictures. When I moved from my uncle's house, they gave me 1 single trash bag and I had a lot of stuff, from the stuff my uncle bought me, clothes, because I barely had anything. By the time I was 13, I was in 5 different homes. When I moved to this foster family, it seemed really great at first. It was really great. They had a big house, they had 3 other kids. It was really good, but then once I moved in, it was a month later, the dad was a pastor. I didn't do well in school at all. I would do assignments, but I wouldn't turn them in. And he did not he liked order. He did not like me not doing my work. So he wouldn't hit me, but he would take all the clothes out of my closet and dump them down and tell me to put them up again. He would unfold my bed and like take the mattress off my bed and tell me to put it up again. He told me I couldn't use tampons. He was just very controlling. I felt so different from all the other kids he had. They had 3 kids and he treated me differently from everybody. I ate different. I couldn't have water because I take medicine, so I get thirsty during the night, and he wouldn't let me have water. And he would let, like, they would have water. He would get them clothes and I had to go to the thrift store. I kept telling my caseworker these things and she said, he's a pastor. He's not like that. I was moved to a place called Fumps. At this point, I was so angry. Like, I hated God, I hated my grandmother, I hated my mom, I did not have anybody. I was very, like, resentful. Like, I hated everybody. I honestly wanted to die. I just did not want anything to do with anybody. Any part of my family I did not want anything to do because they put me there. I was in a fight, like, every day. Like, if somebody talked to me some kind of way, I fought them. And that's when I got my first charge, was when I hit one of the house parents and I broke his nose. And they still kept me there. So, and I was trying to leave, that's why I did it. So they Baker acted me, and I was there for 2 weeks when you're only supposed to be there for 3 days. But I was there for 2 weeks because I did not want to leave. Like, I hated I hated group homes, I hated foster care. I just wanted to go back with my grandmother. So that's when I got kicked out and I went to Destiny House. It wasn't much better, but it was better than Fumps. I was there until I was 17. You didn't have any privacy. I had a roommate. There was 2 beds in this little tiny room, and there was like no space. So when I moved from Fumps, I had to leave a lot of stuff behind because there was no room for any of my stuff. There was so many fights. The staff used to cuss at us. They would watch these girls fight and not do anything about it. Cops were there 24/7. It wasn't normal. Like, it wasn't how you would perceive as normal. Like, it was just another day in like foster care. The staff wouldn't go to grocery shopping. They wouldn't go. Like, they just wouldn't go. And so we had cereal and stuff, but like for dinner we used to have cereal because the staff didn't go grocery shopping. I think the issue was that it wasn't a Christian home. We didn't get the option of going to church. Like, we couldn't, like, if we wanted to go on Sunday, we had to get permission from Miss Linda, and that was the person who owns the place, and she would always say no. The place that I've been at for 2 years was closing, Destiny House. I had to move again. CPC was trying to get everybody to like know their placements. One of the girls that was my roommate at Destiny House, she had already had her placement set out, and it was Legacy. She would go to like dinners every Tuesday. She would go to church on Sunday. And when she told me about the church, I was very shocked. Every place I've gone to, nobody cared. Like, nobody wanted us to go to church. And me growing up going to church, even though I might have not liked it back then, I started to like feel like something like wasn't right. Like I had a Bible, but it was like under all this stuff in my closet. I never read it or anything. I never had a need for it. But I just felt like when she said that, I was like, I wanted to go. So I started asking people. I was like, how do I get into this place? And she was telling me how when she went to the dinner, she felt like she was at home. Like, these people like treated her like she was their own blood. And so I was like, I need to go there. And so I started asking my caseworker. So we had a meeting with Simone, and at first she was telling me about all these rules, and I'm like, I don't like rules. Like, she was telling me like how they went to church and how they had family dinners. I was like, family dinners? In my head, I was like, these people, they're family. Like, they're not blood, but they call each other family. So this one night I prayed. I haven't prayed since I was with my grandmother. I didn't really know God, but I prayed. I was like, God, please just let me go to a place where I can stay and I can just be there, like, not have to worry about anything, not have to worry about the food or not worry about money. I swear the next morning they're like, oh, you want to come to one of the Tuesday dinners? And I was like, really? I was happy, but I was so shocked. Like, I was like, this is happening. When I went to the Tuesday dinner, it was so weird. You hugged me, Rich hugged me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like, these people, they already love me, like, they don't even know me. I already felt like at home. Like, they were like, oh, you can go grab a drink, you can go get however much food you want. I was like, however much food I want? Are you serious? I felt like it was my home already, and it was my first time meeting these people. They gave me a tour of the house. I was like, I get my own bedroom. I was so happy. I was like, I get my own bedroom. The room that I had back at Destiny House where 2 people was smaller than this. After a few dinners, they asked me if I wanted to move in. I was like, yes. Like, I didn't even have to think about it. It's just like after, like, it was not even a couple of days and I just felt like, okay, I need to be here. When I first moved to Legacy, I was doing my GED. And Simone, I've never had anybody try this hard for me. She tried so hard to get me into high school again. Like she was arguing with people, she was on the phone with people, she was signing me up for FLVS, for virtual. And like she tried so hard, and I was just like, I would argue with her. And I still do argue with her, but like now, like if I just sit down and think about it, this woman like tries so hard for me. So I got into Florida Virtual High School only because she argued for me. Like she was there and she kept telling them like, Hannah really wants to do this, and they kept saying no, and they kept saying no, and then she kept doing it, and I finally got in there. And this is a permanent placement for when you get out of school. Like they want you to be here. Like it's not that you're forced to be here, it's an option to be here. Like, and I love that. I'm excited also to graduate from high school and to go into college, and I know that I'll have help and support from everybody. When I do graduate, I know they'll be there. I know that I have the support to help me be successful. I'm really thankful for the donors and the people who give their money, because if it wasn't for you guys, I would not be here right now, and I would probably still be getting locked up, and I would probably be getting Baker acted and getting in trouble. I am a changed person, and I like, you feel it. Like I feel like if I would have saw myself here in 2 years, I don't know what I would say. I wouldn't believe it. I want to thank Simone, Rich, Brandy, and Q, and just like everybody that helps for us to be Legacy. Thank you, because you're the ones that make us Legacy. Thank you for giving me a house and a family. And if you want to learn more on how to give, go to legacyhousingproject.com. And again, my name is Hannah, and thank you for listening to my story.